You've probably had this moment before. It's late, you're lying in bed, you've wasted another evening. Your phone is still in your hand. You're tired, but not in the satisfying way. Not the kind of tired that comes from effort, the kind of tired that comes from avoidance. And there's this quiet thought in the back of your mind: this is not who I'm supposed to be. Not in a dramatic way, just in the honest way a man knows when he's drifting. Because you've been here before. You've had the motivational phase. You've made the plan. You've deleted the apps. You've told yourself this time will be different. You've watched the videos. You've listened to the podcasts. You've probably even written the goals down. And for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, something changes. You train. You wake up earlier. You feel sharper. You start thinking, okay, this is it now. I'm finally becoming that guy. And then slowly, almost embarrassingly, the old version comes back. One late night, one skipped workout, one weekend where you let things slide, one bad week that somehow becomes a bad month. And before you know it, you're not building anymore. You're back in recovery mode, back in distraction, back in the same loop, starting over again, and again, and again. At some point, the pain is not even the failure, it's the repetition. It's knowing that you're capable of more, but having very little evidence that you can sustain it. That is a uniquely painful place to live, because potential is only encouraging for so long. After a while, unused potential starts to feel like accusation. And the reason that hits is because you're probably not the guy who has never tried. You've probably tried a lot. I want you to tell me if this sounds familiar. I mean, very similar to kind of what I was speaking on in the little text I was reading. You've been trying for so long. You've watched all the videos. You used to watch Hamza, you watched Iman, you watched Ali Abdal, any kind of self-improvement content you could get your hands on. You started implementing these routines. You started to optimize your life. You've been listening to Chris Williamson and Andrew Huberman, and you've been learning, you need to wake up in the morning, get sunlight, no coffee in the first 90 days, not 90 days, first 90 minutes of the day. And you put together a plan. You've put together many plans, and you got excited. You did things for a while, but eventually it all just kind of burnt out. It just fizzled out. You were consistent for a few days, maybe a few weeks, and eventually it stopped. You never stopped thinking about these habits that you want to implement and what these habits can give you. Because if you're anything like me, from the first moment you heard about self improvement, you were like, jackpot. I don't have to live life like this forever. My life can actually change, and the power is in my hands if I can just get myself to do it. And I don't have the excuse of not having information, right? This isn't like 200 years ago where, first of all, people weren't really talking about self-improvement. But if I wanted to learn like how to, I don't know, how to be better at my job or how to put on muscle, I needed to go to like the library or something and get a book. Now you've got a wealth of information in your hands, in your pocket, and you've got the best of the best people. Like, you got people like Dr. Andrew Huberman, man. That guy's like 50 something. He's spent his whole life doing neuroscience. And you've got so many, you got Jordan Peterson, you've got all these people, right, that to get access to them, you needed to go like study at Stanford or Harvard or whatever it is. You need to go to these special schools just to get access to somebody like that. And you've just got a wealth, hours and hours of information at your feet. And you can just go click on a few buttons and you've got that. If you need to fix a specific problem, you can go and fix that. If I'm gymming, let's just use this as an example. If you're gymming and you're like, man, my biceps aren't really growing as well as I'd like them to, let me go find out, what I can do to actually increase. What am I doing wrong, in my gym session that I'm not actually hitting my biceps? You can go find that if you want. And with AI, I mean, it's even greater. So you've got the knowledge of what you need to do, and you've put together a plan, and you've got this vision of the life you want, but you just don't do it. If I don't know about you, but for me, that's painful. It really is painful, because it's like, I can't blame anyone. You can't blame anyone. You can't blame, the circumstances or whatever the case is. You've got everything you need. You just need to get up and do it. But you're not doing it. And time passes, and eventually it gets to a point where you're like, man, I've wasted so much time. I could have been so far right now. And how much longer is this going to go on? I mean, I'm speaking about this because it's my story. And I'm sitting here at 24 and I'm like, I started watching self improvement a long, long time ago. I think sporadically in my high school days, but then in university, I really like locked in. I even like I went on a nice bulk and a cut, and I was locked in. I learned how to do this thing like content creation, and I got some success with it, but I just didn't take it far enough, as far as I would have liked to. And then I started working, and then when you start working, you just don't have that much time. And I think I spoke about that in my last video, the video before, how you just don't have that kind of time, and you start to see your life kind of fizzling away, and you need to fight even harder just to get that back. And after sitting with that for a while, this is the conclusion that I keep coming back to. The problem is not that you don't know what to do. That would almost be easier. If the issue was ignorance, you could fix it with information. But you already have the information. You know the habits. You know the trade offs. You know the version of yourself that will be waiting on the other side of consistency. The real problem is that your life is structured in a way that makes the weaker version of you too easy to access. Distraction is way too close. Escape too available. Your goals are too vague. Your environment is too forgiving, and your standards are too negotiable. So you don't need another motivational phase. You don't need a period of your life where the excuses are removed before they even have a chance to speak. Or you need a period of your life where the excuses are removed before they even have a chance to speak. That is what monk mode is supposed to be.